how we're interested in how the ego transforms and becomes its particular nature, its swarup, its original characteristic. So as one rubs sandalwood, the wood itself disappears. It becomes something else. So we're interested in the transformation of the ego in that sense. Its gradual disappearance into something sweeter, like the sandalwood that's rubbed and disappears into an aroma. It's such a wonderful metaphor. And of course, many of the metaphors that Srila Sri Ramakrishna uses, they're from Rupa Goswami. They're scriptural, perhaps, but some of these are his own personal touches. He was talking to him, someone asked him about faith, and they said, can faith go up and down? Can we have more faith and less faith? Can we be more deeply invested in our faith and then at another time have less developed faith? And Srila Sridhar Maharshi said, well, sometimes a kund, a pond, will develop lily pads or lotus flowers resting on the lily pads. And we think it's very pleasing to the eye, but gradually the lily pads may choke the water. And if left unattended, they'll dry up the pond. So faith is like that. If we don't attend to our faith, then we run the risk of developing something like lily pads that float on top of the water, but the pure water will be dried up by all these different other growths. So one needs to be careful about maintaining the cultivation of one's faith. Like that, another metaphor. Anyways, we're reading again from Sri Guru and His Grace by the demand of you all.
Can I ask one question when you're talking this faith? It's in Guru Maharaj in one book. He's I think it's Sermons of the Guardian of Devotion in Volume 1. He said, we are in the ocean of faith, and I'm just wondering what that means. We are in the ocean of faith. And then he said, we are in the ocean of faith, and then the devotees are, the like, the our great help or something like that. But no, not exact words, I don't know. But this phrase, he said, we are in the ocean of faith. I'm just wondering what that means, like that.
Well, I didn't hear the rest of the expression, but again, Srila Sri Ramakrishna, he's very expert in helping us understand something that we cannot see or taste or know with the use of these metaphors. But as I said, many of these come from Rupa Goswami, for example, talks on Kaviraj Goswami, they talk about the Bhakti Lata Beach. So devotion is compared to a seed that needs to be watered with devotional activities and association. Ata Shraddha, Ata Sadhu Sangha. Without the company of the faithful, our own faith will dry up. So when he says we're in the ocean of faith, I suppose that means that as long as we're in the company of devotees, then we should be saturated by the liquid nature of their faith, and that will buoy us up. In that sense, we're in the ocean of faith. Another point is also we get carried away by the waves of material nature, if you like, to extend the metaphor. But we lose sight of the fact that this whole mundane creation, universe, cosmos, it's like an iceberg floating in consciousness. In this wise, consciousness is universal. It's above, below, and beyond what we experience as matter. After all, even the physicists confess to something called dark matter. They say they can't really tell you what this physical world is made of. They can perceive something like atoms, which we call elements, and they have some kind of particles, subatomic particles like that. But mixed in with protons and neutrons and quarks and all that, there's some kind of dark matter that holds it all together that they can't define properly. Well, above and beyond all these different ideas about the physical universe, which we're unable to properly calculate, there's a conscious universe. And that conscious universe is it's made out of faith, if you like. That's the indivisible element of the conscious world is faith. So in that sense, it's an ocean, and we're surrounded by this ocean of faith. It's not inconceivable to perceive that, but it can only be perceived with faith. You cannot perceive the soul with knowledge. And I suppose that's kind of the parable of Adam and Eve and the tree of knowledge, that there's divinity and there's the individual souls. And the individual souls, they try to perceive divinity through knowledge. They want knowledge because, in a sense, as Francis Bacon, the original Western scientist, put it, knowledge is power. So we want to try to get power for our own insidious purposes through knowledge. And that is not that's not the proper way to perceive divinity or to have communion with God or Krishna. You cannot know Krishna. Someone once asked Srila Sri Maharaj, they were talking about, well, can the infinite be known? And a man said, no, he cannot be known, because if the infinite could be known, then we would be another infinite. If you could know the infinite, you would be another infinite. So therefore, the finite cannot know the infinite. But Srila Sri Maharaj said, well, you have to go deeper. If the infinite cannot make himself known to the finite, then he is not infinite. Srila Sri Maharaj turned that expression on its head. But the process for knowing is not going to a school and taking some lessons or following some practice. The infinite cannot be known in that sense, but the infinite can be felt. And, we can have communion with the infinite as a person, the personality of Godhead, through faith. And so I suppose that's what he meant, something like that. The ocean of faith surrounds us. It's a very good meditation. The Upanishads say that, the infinite is within, it's without, it's all around us. Like that. It takes a particular kind of meditation to develop that perception. But in the Upanishads, we also have Om Purnamada Purnamidam. Zero from zero is zero. Zero times zero is zero, Buddhism. But infinite times infinite is also infinite, Upanishads. Infinite divided, Om Purnamada Purnam Idam Purnat Purnam Udachyate. If you divide the infinite, it's still infinite, so that God can come to earth as an avatar in the form of Jesus Christ or Ramachandra or Buddha or Krishna or Gauranga Mahaprabhu to distribute himself. Something like that. I don't really know. That sounds like a wonderful quote. I'd like to see it in its entirety, but just, based on my own tiny speculative view, that's what I would say. Let's read from page 85 in our book, Sri Guru and His Grace, which this is published in 1983. So that was 42 years ago. And let's see if what's said 42 years ago still has any message for us. Is this timeless wisdom or not? Let's go back in the time machine and find out. So reading chapter 9, it's called Nam Guru and Mantra Guru. Student, I have heard that one has an eternal connection with a spiritual master who first initiates one into the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra, the Harinam Guru. Does he have a similar connection with the mantra guru? Yes, we may see it as similar with a slight difference. Some devotees who took Harinam initiation from Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada later took their Gayatri Mantra initiation from one of his disciples. Can you explain the distinction between the two initiations and how a disciple should view his relationship with two different spiritual masters? Srila Sri Ramanuja says, the first importance should be given to the Nam Guru, or the Guru who initiates one into the chanting of the holy name of Krishna. And second, to the Guru who gives initiation into the Gayatri Mantra. The Diksha Guru initiating spiritual master must be shown respect, and then all the other disciples of Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. First honor should be shown to Prabhupada, who is the Nam Guru, the Guru of the Guru. The second honor will go to the Diksha Guru and then to the rest, accommodating all. They should be all recognized according to their status. Mantra, circle within a circle. Jiva Goswami has written that the name of Krishna is the principal thing in the Gayatri Mantra. Within the mantra, there are also so many other words, but the name is the most important. If the name of Krishna is taken away and replaced with some other name, the whole thing will be rotten. This is the decision of Jiva Goswami. The holy name of Krishna is all in all. The holy name of Krishna is there in the Gayatri Mantra, and so many other words are couched there. But if Krishna's name is taken away and replaced with the name of Shiva, then the whole thing will go to Shiva. The holy name is the all-important factor. The holy name of Krishna is so important that even the Gayatri Mantra may not be necessary. It is said in Rupa Goswami's Padyavali, no diksham, nacha satkriyam, nacha purascharyam, manag ikshate, mantro yam rasana sprigeva palati, Sri Krishna namatmaka. One need not undergo all the purificatory processes or follow the 6 ritualistic ceremonies mentioned in the Vedas for pious life. One need not even take initiation into the Gayatri Mantra. If one simply chants the holy name of Krishna without offense, everything will be successful. The holy name of Krishna is the most important consideration. The Gayatri Mantra may not even be necessary. We accept the mantra only to help Nam Bhaja, the worship of the holy name. Otherwise, it may not be necessary at all. It has been judged in such a way. The name alone can do everything for a person. It is full and complete. The mantra helps us to do away with the aparads, offenses, and the abhas, or hazy conceptions in our bhajan. The mantra comes to help us only so far. An example is given of larger and smaller circles. The holy name of Krishna is the larger circle. It extends from the highest to the lowest. And when we published our book here, we made a chart. I don't know if you can see this, but I'll hold it up to the camera like that. And you can see the Hare Krishna mantra is the larger circle, and the Gayatri mantra is the smaller circle. And here you can see the Gayatri is kind of a core within, but the Hare Krishna mantra continues to Goloka. The mantra circle is a smaller circle within a larger circle. The mantra cannot reach to the lowest point. So his point is the Gayatri mantra of our particular creed, the Gaudiya Vaishnava point of view from Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, it will not help those who are unqualified because they won't understand it. They can't fathom what the mantra is developing. What is it talking about? What is the point? What is the ontological purpose of the Gayatri mantra? This is inaccessible to someone who is not purified through the holy name of Krishna. So it doesn't extend to the lowest point. Whereas the Hare Krishna mantra can be developed by anyone. Anyone can take the holy name of Krishna and advance. So it says here, the mantra cannot reach to the lowest point. The holy name can extend itself down to the lowest position. The mantra gives us entrance into liberation. So the Gayatri mantra, when approached properly, helps us develop our faith with an understanding of the ontological position of Radha and Krishna. And in this way, help correct the direction that one might take when chanting the holy name of Krishna. One might make the mistake of chanting the holy name of Krishna and then moving in a different direction, and that will cause some deviation. So if one chants the holy name with namabhas or offenses to the holy name of Krishna, then this will not be so efficacious. Whereas the proper orientation given by the Gayatri mantra helps us to understand what is the goal. And then at some point, the holy name of Krishna will carry us further. This is the nature of our connection with the mantra and the name. The name extends to the lowest position, to the chandalas and yavanas. Everyone can receive the name. But everyone is not eligible for the Gayatri mantra. Only after one has reached a developed stage can the mantra be conferred upon him. And the mantra's jurisdiction will be finished when liberation is attained. So the idea is the Gayatri mantra will orient us properly in the worship of Radha and Krishna. But once one has developed bhakti, Radha Krishna bhakti, then there may be no need for such ritual guidance. And so the jurisdiction of the mantra will fade out. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, we have Krishna mantra hoite habir samsara mochan, Krishna nama hoite pabe, Krishna racharan. The Krishna Gayatri mantra liberates one from repeated birth and death in this world. Krishna mantra hoite habe samsara mochan. Samsara mochan means liberation from samsara. So the Krishna mantra here, Krishna Gayatri mantra, liberates us from repeated birth and death. The holy name of Krishna, Krishna nama hoite pabe, Krishna racharan, will give us shelter at the lotus feet of Krishna. So the Gayatri mantra helps us achieve liberation, and then the mantra retires. So this relates to the book under study, Sri Guru and His Grace, because this is the grace. This is the prasadam of Guru. We discussed so much about who is a qualified guru or acharya, and that's Sri Guru. But what about his grace? Well, the grace of Sri Guru is he gives us entrance into both Krishna Nama and the Krishna Gayatri mantra. The Gayatri mantra helps us achieve liberation, and then the mantra retires. After giving us liberation, the mantra is finished, but the name will continue all along from the lowest to the highest. So, for example, you won't see in Vrindavan, you won't see the gopis of Vrindavan or the cowherd boys pausing from their divine Krishna Lila pastimes to chant the Gayatri mantra. But you might see them taking the holy name of Krishna and saying, "Oh, Krishna, oh, Hare." So the name will continue all along from the lowest to the highest. In chanting the name, there's no mention of any petition. It is an address only. We should not chant with a mentality that I want this. We must simply chant the name spontaneously. So this distinguishes the worship of Krishna from so many other kinds of worship, because we're not attaching a petition to our prayer. We're not asking God for anything, and we're not being disappointed or ruined in our faith when we don't get what we want. It's not that kind of transaction. The idea is we're trying to develop divine love, and divine love is something spontaneous. So Sri Rama says, we must simply chant the name spontaneously. That will encourage goodwill in us. So because the function of the mantra is limited, but the name is all important, the Nam Guru will be honored first, and next the mantra guru, and then the other Vaishnavas. So Srila Sri Ramakrishna is pointing out here that the mantra, the Gayatri mantra, is important for archana, or worship of the deity, but and all these different aspects of Vaidhi Bhakti or Krishna Bhakti that we see in the ashram or the temple. But the ultimate, in the ultimate judgment, the importance will be given to the holy name of Krishna and who has given us the holy name of Krishna. What do you think? Any questions? This is a very important point. It's something you can really think about a lot. You can think about this every time you take the Gayatri mantra. And those who have been given Gayatri initiation, were fortunate enough, have to, take that mantra 3 times a day. Like the doctor will say, take this medicine 3 times a day. I find personally that the mantra is very helpful, especially in times of stress. So while it's recommended to take the mantra, the Gayatri mantra, at sunrise, noon, and sunset, one may take the mantra at any time. Srila Sridhar Maharaj himself explained that he developed a particular line of interpretation about the Gayatri mantra, the Brahma Gayatri, which is not specific about Krishna, whereas the Krishna Gayatri mantra is, Klim Krishnaya Govindaya. It's mentioning the name of Krishna. But Om, what is it? Om Bhur Bhuva Sva. It's kind of a more general ontological meditation. So Srila Sridhar Maharaj, he was interested in delving deeper into the mystery of the Brahma Gayatri, because this is a general Gayatri mantra given to all Brahmanas everywhere. It's universal. Om Bhur Bhuva Sva. So how is that related to Krishna consciousness? Because that Gayatri mantra doesn't mention Krishna by name. How do we find Krishna there? And of course, he gave his famous commentary on the Gayatri mantra. It's found in different places. And he said he arrived at that by taking the Gayatri mantra on its japa beads. So he would take one Gayatri mantra and then another, and then another, and then another, like chanting that as you might chant the Hare Krishna mantra on japa beads. And this way, by doing so, he entered more and more deeply into the spirit and meaning of the Gayatri mantra. So my point being that it's in the Shikshastikam, it says there are no hard and namakari bahuda nija sarva shaktis. It says there's no hard and fast rules about chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. You can take it at any time. Whereas the Gayatri mantra, we're generally more reserved about that. It's supposed to be sunrise, noon, and sunset. But I have found when I was being operated on my heart in the hospital, and I was lying on a cold steel table, and they were inserting a long fiber optic cable into my arteries until it reached my heart without any anesthesia. I found that if I tried to chant Hare Krishna, I would space out. I would go Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. What? Hare Ram, where am I? But if I chanted the Gayatri mantra internally, I could follow the argument of it and go, Om, okay, a big yes, Bhur. This, the world of experience. It's interesting how that mantra is constructed, because of course, in the Bhagavatam, there's different versions of the cosmos that are given. There's one in the second canto given by Lord Brahma, and another in the fifth canto, where Shukadev describes the universe to Maharaj Pricket. And they're very different. It's very difficult to reconcile the two. Why are they so distinct? Well, the universe is seen from different points of view, and that may, give you some idea. But generally speaking, when we talk about Bur, you could say, well, there's Buloka. It means earth, right? But it also means the world of experience. And this is what Srila Sri Ramakrishna comments in his comment on the Gayatri Mantra, the Brahma Gayatri. He says, Buloka, it means the world of experience. And then you can think, well, where is that? How far does our experience go? And then again, if you think about worlds, there's the world of sports. Where is it? Is that in South Africa? Is it in Norway? Is it in the United States? If you turn on the news and they say, now, the world of sports. I like baseball. So I put on the news to see, well, what happened with the World Series? And the Mexican announcer will say, now, the world of sports. But they'll just talk about football. There's no baseball in Mexico. It's not part of the world. So what world are we talking about? Then there's the world of music, which is completely distinct from the world of sports or the world of business, the world of money. Now, we live in a very high-powered capitalist society where everything is money, 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 money all the time. And if what you're doing or saying is not money related, it has no value. We don't charge any money for this talk. So therefore, according to, that model of the universe, it's worthless. It has no value. So there's the world of money. So where is the world of experience? What world are we talking about exactly? Well, it's all that, isn't it? It's not just the Earth planet. So Buloka means the world of experience, and then there's Bhuva, which is the mental world. And Srila Sri Ramakrishna points out that the mental world is much bigger than the physical world. Now in quantum mechanics, they say the movement of one electron can affect the movement of another electron light years away. And how is that done? Well, through observation. If you make a mental observation of one electron over here, it can affect something light years away. Really? That's inconceivable. But we're talking about the power of the mental world. So Bhuva, it's much bigger. So in the Bhagavatam, when it talks about Burloka, Bhuvaloka, Svargaloka, these different worlds, where are they physically located? You can sit down and draw out a map, but your map will be two-dimensional, and it doesn't represent the real world. There's a big distinction between a map and what's being mapped. So, and then above that is Svargaloka, which is what? The intellectual world, what philosophical worlds come closer to spiritual reality. Savitur. And beyond that, or above that, or under that, or inside that, depending on your prepositional, preference, there's that savitur, which is interesting because in Spanish we have sabiduría, savitur. It means sabitur verenium. It means the light, the divine light of wisdom. Where is that coming from? Well, in our little tiny system, it's the sun. And so you can see the sun illuminating the solar system as the principal point in the Gayatri Mantra. And then take it to mean, okay, well, we worship the sun god. Or You can think that the sun itself is kind of a metaphor for light in general. And where does the light of this world come from? Does it come from the sun? No, it comes from the soul. The soul, the Atma, is what illuminates this universe. But is it the Jivatma or the Paramatma? Well, then there's God. The light of God illuminates the world, illuminates the soul. But who, Bhargo Devasya, that divine light. But in the ultimate sense, if Krishna is the supreme light, supreme personality of Godhead, who is the light of his life? Radha Krishna. So in this way, he found the meaning, the inner meaning of the Gayatri Mantra. So, anyways, in this chapter, he's discussing what's the relative position of the Nam Guru and the Diksha Guru. Well, in many cases, it will be the same person. I feel strange just ranting like this in a tiny little library in the far-off kingdom of Mexico. It would help me if somebody would ask a question, and then I will feel like I'm not just talking to the wall. It's a great country song by Jim Reeves. It's called Hello, Wall, where he sits in a hotel room with his guitar and composes a song to the wall, because the wall is the only one who's there listening. So what do you think? You've all practiced Hare Krishna mantra for years and years and years. I can tell by the illumination of your divine faces. So your divine lotus faces. No? Okay. I read recently that in a conversation, it's very important to be silent, because it's like when a chess player uh, is trying to win a game, he doesn't open up a big attack. He wants to see, what does the opponent have, and then when he trips and stumbles and bumbles, and makes a big blunder, then you go, ha. Or as the Grateful Dead used to say, um, you who lead must choose to follow, but if you fall alone. God brother gurus. How should a devotee who has taken second initiation from a god brother regard his god brother as god brother or guru? So this question just keeps coming up and up and up. We don't like to recognize our friends as gurus. No one is a prophet in his own land. Srila Sri Ramar says, it is inconceivably simultaneously one and different. So throughout this whole book, Srila Sri Ramar is being as generous as he possibly can to the so-called Western devotees. And Western devotees, in a way, it's kind of a pejorative, because it's saying based on our nationality or uh, origin, we're somehow inferior or distinct from the real devotees. And this is an axe that has been ground recently by some folks, but Srila Sri Ramakrishna doesn't give much credence to that. I saw personally that Srila Sri Ramakrishna was very impressed by the surrender, you know. We have this word in Spanish, entrega. That's a good word. It means to give yourself. I could see these Western devotees, they're not like some folks who come and officially accept a guru because it's their birthday and it's what you do, and they get a sacred thread and go away forever. No, these Western devotees are taking this very seriously. So he didn't make this big distinction between Western and Eastern devotees. And he's being very generous here to say, no, you must show respect like that, even though ourselves, we may encounter so many foibles amongst ourselves, Generally, that god brother will be seen as guru according to the disciple's present stage. But if the disciple transcends and goes to his previous history, then he will see him more as a god brother. But generally, in his present stage, he will see him as guru, and in the background, god brother. So, there's guru as teacher. There's guru as someone who can guide other folks. And then there's this idea of acharya as someone who really knows the scriptures well, who gives us a perfect example and lives on the transcendental plane. And they may not always be the same. Srila Sridhar Maharaj has told us about tatastha vichar, that you can see different levels, and that's all right. It doesn't mean it's all black and white. And in fact, you'll see this current running through all his teachings, where he's always looking for gradation. He's always looking for kind of a Hegelian back and forth, give and take synthesis, thesis, antithesis, synthesis. You said, the student, you said the Harinam continues after the liberated condition. So does the Gayatri Mantra Guru continue any activity with the devotee beyond the point of liberation? Srila Sridhar Maharaj. When he returns to the spiritual world, even the chanting of the holy name will be in the background, and the function of performing other services will come in the foreground. When one enters the Lord's domain, he will be given some function there in the service of Krishna. So again, as I was saying, Adwai told me the other day, why does everybody want to be a gopi? What's wrong with being a leaf or a flower in Vrindavan? Okay, so say you're a flower in Vrindavan and your business is to release some divine fragrance around the Lord when he's performing his pastimes, dancing and playing his flute. Huh? You're not there busy trying to take the Gayatri Mantra 3 times a day. You may utter the word Krishna, but it may not be part of your particular repertoire of services. So he says, the function of performing other services will come in the foreground. When one enters the Lord's domain, he will be given some function there in the service of Krishna. Or as Srila Sridhar Maharaj puts it in Prapana Jivanamritam, it's positive and progressive immortality. That will be very conspicuous and prominent. At that time, the name will be in the background. When one goes to a particular group in a particular rasa, like Sakya Rasa, then he will be given a specific duty under a group leader like Shubal or Baladev. His service will have the first importance, and the name will be in the background. So the cowherd boy may be saying, where's Krishna? Where's Krishna? But the name is a little bit more in the background. The name will be in the background, helping, energizing, and there all will be seen as guru. But still, there is a hierarchy. It is a family life. The guru's guru is there, but the disciple will work under his own boss, who has his boss. He will receive direction from his immediate superior. In this way, the hierarchy is there, and the disciple will gradually be transformed by that kind of function. Everyone is under some service, and their immediate duty will be to attend that servitor and his orders. Student, many devotees cannot understand how is it that someone can have 2 gurus. Srila Sridhar Maharaj, that is because they're situated in a formal position. But when they enter into the substantial spiritual realization, they will not have such a grievance because they will see what is guru. Guru means one who has come to give Krishna consciousness. The formal difference will be reduced when one can catch the very substance of the teachings for which the Guru is respected. When one is intimately connected with the thread of divine love which the Guru comes to impart to us, he will accept it wherever it comes from. He will see it as a friendly relation, not antagonistic, but cooperative. Although separate in figure, at heart, both of the gurus are the same because they have a common cause. They have not come to fight with one another. They have come to fight only with the agents of Satan. If we can recognize the real thing for which we are approaching the Guru, then we will understand how to make the adjustment in our relationship with the Shiksha Guru, the Diksha Guru, the Vartma Pradarshaka Guru. We are infinitely indebted to all our gurus. We are helpless. What can we do? They are benevolent. They are infinitely gracious. They are my guardians. I may have many guardians. They are to look after my welfare. They have not come to destroy me. Student. Krishna descends with his associates, friends, and paraphernalia. Is this true of the Guru also? Does the Guru come with his associates, friends, and paraphernalia? Another student, no, Srila Sridhar is, yes, but his associates were mostly recruited. Very few may be his eternal company. So perhaps, we can see Govinda Maharaj. He's part of the package. He comes with Srila Sridhar Maharaj. Others, they came from the streets of New York or Philadelphia or Los Angeles or Calcutta or somewhere. And somehow they were enfolded into the company of Guru. Student. How will we recognize the Guru if he appears before us in another form or in a different body? This is something that the Tibetan Buddhists kind of focus on. When the Dalai Lama passes away, they identify the reincarnation of the Lama in another body. They find a young boy and say, this is enough. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya argued that Sri Chaitanya Dev could not have been an incarnation. Gopinath Acharya told him, you do not know the Shastra. No, Sarvabhauma said. In the scriptures, it is mentioned that the Lord does not appear in Kali Yuga, but only in 3 ages and is therefore known as Tri Yuga. Gopinath Acharya replied, you think you know so much about Shastra, but in the Srimad Bhagavatam and Mahabharata, there's direct mention of the avatar of Kali Yuga. Have you no knowledge, no recognition of that? Then Sarvabhauma, apparently defeated, said, you go and take prasadam, and afterwards come and teach me. Then Gopinath said, not by dint of one's study or intelligence can one understand God, but only through his grace. So we have the title, Sri Guru and his grace. Atapite deva palambuja dvaya prasada leshanu grita evahi. Then Sarvabhauma said, you say that you have that grace and I do not? What is your reasoning behind this? You say that you have the grace of the Lord because you say that he is an incarnation. And because I can't give recognition to that, I have no grace? What is the proof of this? Then Gopinath Acharya replied, Acharya koche vastu vishaye hoya vastu gyan vastu tattvagana hoya kripate praman. It is evident that I have the grace of the Lord because I know him, and that you have not because you deny him. The answer to your question is given here. Srila Sridhar Maharaj continues. Our own inner experience, our internal satisfaction, our connection or acquaintance with reality is the real evidence. Nothing external can give any real proof. And this comes back to what we were saying about knowledge. And it's a fine point because, of course, this can be distorted and exploited. But there it is. Our Guru Maharaj gave the example that if one is born in the darkness of a dungeon and someone proposes, let us go see the sun, then the prisoner will carry a lantern in his hand, saying, oh, you will show me the sun? Yes, come with me. Leave your lantern behind. No light is necessary to see the sun. Are you trying to fool me? Nothing can be seen without the help of a light. His friend will catch him and forcibly take the prisoner into the sunlight. Do you see the sun? And the prisoner will say, oh, this is the sun. By sunlight alone, we can see the sun. So you can't use the flashlight of your puny consideration, your puny evaluation and analysis, your science and rational mind. You cannot use that to reveal the divine truth about the soul and divinity, or even the guru. One will have that sort of experience when it comes in connection with the truth. Neither calculation, nor evidence, nor witness, but only direct experience is proof that Krishna is there, like the sun. So the question was, how do we recognize the guru? And this is the thread that runs through the entire book. We need faith. So as Suvasini pointed out in the beginning, we're surrounded by an ocean of faith. We need only dive in it. Of course, there's the danger, how do we know? How do we know? But at some point, we need to leave behind that addiction to reason. You have to dive into the infinite. Strange contradiction. Well, we've come to the end of our hour this morning. Of course, for you, it's the afternoon. I don't know what moves you all to believe that you can relax on a Sunday afternoon and listen to someone like me, but I suppose I'm doing my best to represent the divine teachings of Srila Sridhar Maharaj. He says right here on the back of the book, to err is human, to err is inevitable for all, being not perfect. So this imperfect soul is trying to give justice to the divine teachings of Srila Sridhar Maharaj. And I thank you all once again for giving this humble soul the opportunity to say anything, because it enlivens me and gives me heart and allows me to once again dive into the ocean of faith. So that'll be it for this morning. And thank you all. To Pranashish, we give Jai, and to Suvasini, we give Jai. Thank you once again for pushing me to do this, because I woke up this morning very tired and I thought, I can't do this anymore. I'm too old, I just Advai Krishna for his intimate association with Go Raksha and protection of the cows up there in Northern Ireland, which is not Northern Ireland. It's Achincha Beta Beta Ireland. And Hari Priya and to Tungarasa Dasi there in Norway. Thank you all very much. We'll try to see you again next week with Sri Guru and His grace. Hare Krishna.
Bye.
Thank you so much. Dandavad, everyone. Thank you. My thanks.
Dandavad. Thank you, everybody. Is everybody gone?
Yes, Pranashis, Tangrases here, Hare Krishna. So I'll talk to you soon. Yeah. And thank you so
Hare
much.
Krishna.
Yeah. Take care. Hope you're well. And Advai and Hari Priya. And talk to you, Hari Priya, soon. Yeah.
Thank you, Subhasini. Tangarasa. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Dandavad. 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 Dandavad.